So Tom Brady on the broadcast. Right?
Quarterback crime on crime.
That's right.
Quarterback to quarterback crime, brother.
He was pushing back on Baker Mayfield, who said that when Brady was there in Tampa Bay, people were walking on eggshells, basically not having fun, under Tom Brady's watch. And so that story came out. And so Tom Brady, of course.
Hey, just your grill.
Tom Brady did the game and yesterday for Fox. And he went back at Baker Mayfield. Let's take a listen.
I said, quote, they wanted me to come in, be myself, bring the joy back to football for guys who weren't having as much fun. It's funny because you've made this environment for me very stressful up here in the booth, so I understand where he's coming from.
Do you feel it?
No.
Feel the stress? No. Well, I was going to say, I thought stressful was not having Super Bowl rings. So there was a mindset of a champion that I took to work every day. This wasn't daycare. If I wanted to have fun, I was going to go to Disneyland with my kids.
Yeah, so as you were saying, go ahead. That's you feel like I feel like there's more in there to say.
There's a way to approach this game, and it's that with the right mindset and try to push each other outside of our comfort zone. And great teammates do that. You come in, I have someone like Gronkowski, I have someone like Evans. There's high expectations for us. We got to make sure we go out there and deliver.
The competitive juice is still flowing,
still in there.
I love
no
it.
apologies.
Here's my issue with it.
Yeah, tell me, because I got some thoughts.
Here's my issue. Tom Brady doesn't have to do that on like most of the time. These color analysts. No one's calling anybody out saying the coach made a mistake or they don't know how to coach or what's wrong with the defense, what a game plan or the. If you got an issue with what Baker Mayfield said, and he did, Rob G, walk it back like the next day. So if you have an issue. Tom Brady, you're in Tampa Bay, go up to the guy's locker, go up to the guy's face and say, that's some BS that you were saying or whatever. I want you to know. And blah, 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 blah. But to pull out we're not having a Super Bowl is stressful, isn't it? Like, that's like a woman saying, no, like, this. Rob G knows this. Anybody who's where the woman, no matter what happens in the relationship or what happens around the house or whatever, they always use "I'm having a baby" as the excuse. Like the house is like, "I'm having a baby." Did you make dinner tonight? What do you want me to do? I'm having a baby.
Hold on, Rob, trying to get people in trouble. Rob G, hey, I tell you what, if you're listening to the show right now, you better not laugh too hard while you're next to her.
I'm not even smiling right now.
Yeah, don't laugh too hard.
You know what I'm talking about. But my point is, you don't need to do that on the airwaves at Fox Sports as a guy who's supposedly covering Baker Mayfield. And is supposedly treating him equal and not having any axe to grind against anybody when you could say that. It's not like Baker Mayfield said that yesterday or today and you didn't have a chance to see him or whatever. This has been out there for what, Rob G? 10 days? Almost
about a week, yeah.
All right? And you could go see Baker Mayfield. You can...
Baker, here's a couple of things.
Baker Mayfield didn't say that to Tom Brady's face. So
he said it on a podcast, and a couple of things need to be learned in this. One, let me just say this right now. I know Elijah's recording this for us. Let me say this to some young person coming up. Maybe they already have their first job in media or something where they're in front of a microphone. You don't have to say everything. And I think that was a lesson learned by Baker Mayfield right now. Because let's say it's I'll take him at his word. Let's say it's true. But if your receivers, if your team is coming to you like, man, it's just easier we're here with you, man. I like you're just down to earth. Because I do believe there are different ways to skin a cat. You can be of the LeBron, I build everybody up, I'm cool, I got a handshake with everybody. Or you can also win as a Jordan, Kobe, I'm going to be hard on you, I'm going to punch you on the plane if I need to. I'm going to demand something out of you, a la Tom Brady in this case. I think there's multiple ways to skin a cat, but you don't have to tell everybody that. That can be locker room talk. And that's the challenge when you and I sit up here and talk about these players on podcasts. Sometimes they feel like they have to share something, right? You've invited me on your pod. I have to tell you something. I have to talk about things. I have to be honest and tell my truth. You ain't got to tell everything, bro. You can love the fact that everybody in that locker room is rocking with you. You're winning. You're having success. Maybe they like the atmosphere better. You don't have to share that. Now, on the other side, what I find interesting is, boy, that was the best Tom Brady we've heard since he's been calling games this season. Everybody's had Tom Brady is not great. Tom Brady, well, Tom Brady sounds terrible. I got to cover my ears. I got to hear more Tom Brady calling games. That was the best he ever got right there. So that little bit, whatever that was, got the best out of Tom Brady for sure. Maybe he needed that little bit of juice. Maybe he needed that juice to get fired up. Thought he was playing a game.
But wouldn't it be better if he just go to his locker and say, Baker, what'd you say? Well, what was that about? Or
I think there was
a conversation.
I think there was a way to lightly take a fun jab on air and not have fun, because we've seen the best of the best know how to do that. Charles Barkley can do it, take a jab at somebody and keep it pushing, keep it moving. I think where Tom. They set him up. They asked another question. It was like they kept egging it on.
Well, because it was awkward there.
Yeah, it was like
Tom kind of said nothing.
He said his little bit, okay, cool, and he was like, well, like almost anything else you want to get off?
Yeah, there's something.
And then
else
it got
there.
weird. So if he was just to say, what's best when you're able to sneak it in subliminally. You know what I mean? If he just was calling the game, it's 3rd and 6 right now. They don't really look that stressed. Maybe they need somebody to come in there and stress them up a little bit. Where we would have got it tongue in cheek.
Right.
I think that's when it works best. But just to serve it up on a silver platter, it's kind of like, all right, that was awkward and weird, and it seemed a bit. Baker's having a good time. His team's being successful. We play for the same organization. Yeah, all that wasn't necessary. But I do think, again, the lesson goes, Baker, you ain't got to say everything.
877-99 on Fox is the telephone number, and if you want to get in on this, was Tom Brady's take the way he did it?
Crime.
Yep. Did you like Brady going back at Baker? Was it out of line? Should he have done it personally? I just think when I have somebody in front of me and I could say something to you, I'm not going to be afraid to just go up to him or find out. He was hugging everybody else on the sidelines. Did you see Brady on the sidelines? I mean, he was everybody and their uncle.
It was a little Jordan-esque, the whole meme from Last Dance, and then I took it personally.
Right.
Like, relax. Like, you get what Baker was trying to say. Like, hey, I'm just coming in here to be me.
They just have fun, right?
Yeah,
it ain't the same thing.
Yeah, Tom took a little too serious. But that's what they do. Tom, Jordan, Tiger, all those dudes, that's what they do. They take any slight.
But you don't think that Baker got that from nowhere? Baker wasn't there during it, so that means people were saying
100%
this to him. Am I right?
That's why
come
he
on.
doesn't have to say it, though. Like, yo, we love. It's like.
They're like, we're enjoying this.
I'm new to Fox Sports Radio, and if I just was saying everything, hey, you know what they saying about me? They saying this, they saying that. Right. You'd be like, whoa, dude, like you ain't gotta. All right, relax. I see we got a few calls here, Rob.
And we're gonna do. Some people want to get in still on Pete Rose, and we'll take the Brady calls. We'll do both. Okay,
absolutely.
Let's start with Matt in Los Angeles. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Matt?
Hey, Rob. When you said, criticize Brady, maybe you should have said it in the locker room or said it, off camera. Don't you always complain, or you used to, about ex-athletes not saying anything in podcasts or broadcasting, not having an opinion?
No.
And his partner asked him. He said, "What do you think of that?" What's he supposed to say?
No, you know what? He could have said, "I talked to Baker Mayfield before the game, and I addressed it." He could have said that. My only point was he was there and Baker was there. So there was an opportunity if Tom Brady really didn't like it. Do you see my point? Is that he could have addressed it. That's all. And then I would have a lot of respect if Tom Brady said on the air, I went to Baker Mayfield's locker and I talked to him about it, and we disagree on this. I'd love to hear that.
Well, I mean, maybe he would have, but he was asked right there. I mean, he didn't say anything publicly until that guy said.
Well, hold on, okay. You do know that was contrived, right? You know that was like
right.
It wasn't out of the blue.
You know
he said,
out of the blue?
"Hey, I'm going." You don't ask $275 million Tom Brady out the blue some crazy question.
He already knew that was coming.
He knew it was coming. Hey, Tom, I don't know if you heard it. They knew that was coming.
Come on, don't back brand new.
But to your point, though, I'll say this. I don't mind if he asked the question and he has something to say. I think there was a cute, fun way to say it where it's like, I had to smack you up a little bit. But I felt like he kind of made it personal and like kept it going. Was like, all right, Tom, like, you're Tom Brady. Like, life's been pretty good to you, bruh. You don't have to take too many shots at Baker, just trying to find his foot and get back in the NFL.
And as I said before, Baker wasn't there. So why, for him to say that was stressful back then, that's coming from other teammates. You think that's coming? Would Baker know he wasn't there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. What else we got? Appreciate the call.
Let's do that. Let's go to Andre in Jackson, Mississippi. That's right. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Andre?
What's going on, Odd Couple? What's up with it?
What up, man?
Hey, everybody want to talk about Pete Rose, man. It's sad news, but far as the Hall of Fame, it's no way. It's no way you can let him in, man. Hey, I was an Oakland A's fan back then. Cincinnati beaters. Hey, you cannot let him in. No matter what happens, you still cannot let him in the Hall of Fame.
But why though? I hear you saying that, but tell us why, Dre.
Hey, when you're not remorseful and you won't forgive, you can't get in, man. That's just like me turning around slapping you.
No, you know what? The biggest thing, and thanks, Andre, for the call, is the remorse. And if had he done it immediately, like I made a mistake here, never meant to hurt baseball, and I love this game, blah, 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 he would have had a way better chance. Am I right?
Yeah,
way better.
If you really want to keep it a buck, if you really want to keep it real, Rob and I have talked about it, and we won't go over it too much on air. You can kind of do your own research to see. There kept being blunders. There kept being things said, things being done, some things illegal, that just kept putting him in a position where the league was like, man, gosh, we trying to get you a break, maybe have a consideration, maybe have a conversation, but you won't admit this, or you'll half admit this, or you're tongue-in-cheek. And then, like I said, some other things happen where they're like, man, what do you want us to do?
There's nothing they could do because they tried. They really did. I told you when they allowed him to take part in the All-Star game in Cincinnati. Fred in Florida, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Fred?
Not much, Rob. I wanted to comment on the Tom Brady situation.
Yes.
What has Baker done in Tampa? He said that about the GOAT. Tom Brady has status in Tampa.
Fred, where do you think
someone in the NBA like Baker?
Fred, let me ask you this question.
Said that to Michael Jordan.
Let me ask you this question. Where do you think that came from is what I'm asking you. Baker wasn't there when Tom Brady was there. Where do you think it came from?
What have the Bucks done since
I'm asking you,
left?
Fred, answer my question.
Where did I think that came from?
Answer my
from someone inside.
Oh, okay. It came back from other players who probably said it was stressful as hell when Tom Brady was here. Or when Tom Brady took off training camp and went on vacation for 2 weeks with his family during training camp. You remember that, Fred?
He's earned that.
Okay, and he didn't earn that. No, either you're on the team or you're not. No, you're not. That's not earned. That was disrespecting the game.
My biggest thing, hey, appreciate the call. I don't mind. Listen, I don't think Baker, I think people get caught up being on podcasts, want to be just cool, doing blogs, shows and all of that, and they have conversations. I think Baker could have just said, look, I bring a different energy. I'm here with the team right now. We're thriving. I think the guys like what we're doing. That's it. But I agree with Fred in that you knew what was coming when you took shots at Tom Brady and you're Baker, who's just now finding his footing again in the NFL. So I do think this is what's to come, which is why I said there's a lesson to be learned to all these young players who get asked to come on podcasts, to get asked to come on shows. You ain't got to. One of the things my mother told me, Rob.
If you don't have anything nice to say,
don't do Mama Dub like that.
Okay, all right.
You ain't always got to answer the question.
No, I've said that a million.
You're a reporter, and you're also someone on the other side where people ask you questions. You don't always have to answer the question. So I want to make sure I stress that because it's every young player feels the need to do a podcast.
You don't have to, right.
Or do an Instagram thing or answer this or go live. Not Shannon Sharp live, but just go live. You don't have to. You can say, look, man, hey, I'm here now. Love what we're doing. We're having some success. Tom's the greatest. And but we're doing our thing now.
No doubt.